Hello, everybody. We're here. Hello. I do not own the rights to this music. This is Mary J. Good morning, gorgeous.
I never heard it.
Tell me what's wrong. Tell myself that it ain't healthy. Second guessing it don't help me. I'm so tired of feeling empty. Find my eyes, it's time to fly. Seems like I'm always a me. Seems like this is never ending. I refuse to let it end me. Mentally, spiritually, physically, I need my peace. Oh, I need my peace. I wake up every morning and tell myself, good morning, gorgeous. Sometimes you gotta look in the mirror and say, good morning, gorgeous. No one else can make me feel this way. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, gorgeous. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Today I am joined by the Mecca of real estate, Miss Mecca Turner, MBA, realtor extraordinaire, and all of that. We are here to talk about the state of the market. We're talking about different strategies on how to get your offer accepted. We're talking about savings plans and coming up with your money to close. Today, we are going to give you some great jewels to use in your home buying search. So, welcome, Mecca. Hi.
Thank you, Saundra. Thank you. Excited to be on the call.
All right. Tell everybody who you are, what you do.
Yeah. My name is Mecca. I am a realtor. I'm licensed in DC, Maryland, Virginia. Been in the business for about 6 years. And I enjoy every bit of it. Right now, I don't have a specialty niche, but helping buyers, sellers, renters, investors, doing it all right now. So if you are looking to purchase, definitely contact me, or sell, contact me.
That is amazing. You also do commercial, right?
I have done a couple commercial deals, but it's not my specialty.
Okay, good. Right. Well, we are going to jump into the state of the market. As we all know, and I know I've been talking about this a lot, but the rates are going up. The market is still great for buyers. It's great for refis. Just depends on what you're trying to do. The rates have been a lot worse. So right now, don't let that deter you from buying your home. All you have to do is ensure that you are prepared for it. It may lessen a little bit of how much you're prepared. How much you're pre-approved for as far as your debt to income ratio. However, those are all things that we can work around. I do have plenty of borrowers. Like there was this big buyer boom recently. I've gotten so many applications in, and people are out there. People are still looking, and there are plenty of houses for people to look at. So we wanted to come on and just kind of give you an update, because when you see things like Fed rate hikes and, the market is volatile and people get afraid to buy. Right now, there is nothing that is tumultuous enough that I would say you need to wait to buy. Yeah. So how's it looking on the end with the houses, Mecca?
Yeah. So again, there are definitely a lot of buyers, as it has been these last couple of years. I have not seen a shift in the market. It's definitely still a seller's market, which means there's still a lot more buyers than there are homes available, but inventory is plentiful. Buyers can still find something, whether that's, a resale or new construction, but definitely still a seller's market. Definitely in favor of the seller in terms of being able to profit, and sell their home quickly for top dollar. But yeah.
All right. So you hear that, sellers? It's a great time to sell your house. You're still going to get a great deal, but you still need a professional like Mecca that can help you set your house up properly for the sale and put it on the market. What are some of the tips that you would give sellers, Mecca?
Definitely research your neighborhood. Make sure that you know what your home is worth, whether that's researching on your own or contacting a professional, so that you just have your ducks lined in a row, and financially what you're coming to the table with and leaving the table with. So that's number one. In terms of preparing to put your house on the market, I would definitely recommend small things, just like making sure that it's buyer friendly. So you want to make sure that your staging your home, whether that's your own look or getting hiring a professional, is staged for the buyer's eye. So what will catch the buyer's eye in the first 5 seconds of them walking in? You want to make sure that it catches their eye in that sense. But there's a few other tips and tricks to make your home more appealing and preparing to put your home on the market. I definitely have like a checklist of what you need to do to make sure that your home is ready to go on the market. But the main tip is just making sure you research your area, so that financially what you're coming to the table with and what you're leaving the table with.
Perfect. I know there is a myth right now of people thinking, oh, it's a seller's market, I can just throw my house up and it's going to sell. That's not the case, right? You still have to prepare for it. You still have to get the house ready.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed when I was looking last year was a lot of people just threw their house on the market and they wanted top dollar for it. And it was just disheartening for me. So sellers, please do your due diligence to get your house ready, because it will sell. What's the average on listings right now? Like how many
average number of listings? Last time I checked, well, in January for PG County, I want to say it was about 500. That could be the sold amount. I want to say between 400 and 500 listings that went up in PG County.
Okay.
For the month of January. And they were staying on the market on average for about 23 to 25 days, which is really good. So again, it's all about being strategic. You definitely cannot just throw your house on the market and assume that it's going to sell. You have to be very strategic. You have to know your numbers. You have to know what it's going to take to actually get your home sold quickly.
Perfect. Okay. So with on my end, we have to, with sellers, I vet my clients very, very carefully. Mecca will tell you, if I see something on their file that I feel is going to come up as an issue in underwriting, we're going to address it before I even pre-approve you. So a lot of times I get seller agents calling me, are you sure about this client? If you see my name on the pre-approval letter, I'm sure, because I did all of my due diligence. Anything can happen, of course, in underwriting. Nobody can be, can say 100% sure, but I definitely do my due diligence. So guys, when you are coming to do an application with me, just know that I'm not just going to write you a pre-approval letter. We're going to make sure that everything is in line before we do that.
Yeah. Saundra, I know you're a mortgage lender, and it's your pitch is that come to me and I'll pre-approve you. What are your thoughts on, because I get a lot of buyers who are interested in shopping around to get the best rate as possible. What is your advice on people shopping around different mortgage lenders and finding the best rate? Is it worth it? Is it not? What do you think?
According to the NMLS, it is best to shop around. You should shop around. We encourage you to shop around just to make sure that you are secure in what you're doing. and you're secure in what rates you're getting and all of that. What I will tell you is, as far as a broker go, we're brokers. We have access to over 300 banks. So it's my job to shop for you. So when you're going with the broker, just know that we have combed the market. We have combed different banks. We have, based upon your profile, we have looked at the different options for you and picked the best options for you. When you go to a traditional bank, that's where the interest rates may vary a little bit, because at the bank, they only have those products that they offer at that bank. So they'll have your regular FHA, conventional VA, USDA, those types of things. Right. But we, as a broker, we have those things, and we also have the bank statement loans, all the non-QM stuff. Today, I offered a buyer a no ratio loan. All you have to do is put 25% down, up to $3 million. We don't check your job history. We don't check. We just make sure that you have the money and your credit history is good, and you can get a loan. You would never be able to go to a traditional bank and get that. So do your due diligence, shop around. Once your credit is ran, you can run your credit as many times as you need to within 30 days to make sure that you're shopping and you're getting the right rate. So don't be afraid that, oh, they're going to run my credit all this time and I'm going to lose a bunch of points. That's not how mortgages work. So
good to know. Thank
you. Okay. So yeah, we were talking about, now you're pre-approved. Come to me, get pre-approved. Then you go with Mecca and you go out and you look for your house. And then you like, boom, you found this perfect house. Oh, this is so beautiful. I want it. You go to Mecca, say, I want it, and we need to write an offer. So Mecca is going to explain to us some of the strategies and the ways that we can better your chances of getting chosen for that house.
Yeah. So obviously, real estate is definitely a competitive industry. You have to be strategic with how you do things, and definitely in this type of market, which is a seller's market, you have to be strategic, because for every one house, there can be 4 or 5 buyers competing on it. So what is going to set yourself apart from winning that offer among the other 4 or 5 offers? So I always tell clients that price is not the end all be all. The higher the price doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win the offer, right? So there's a lot of other factors that play into getting your offer accepted. And honestly, my first step when I'm submitting an offer on a client is actually reaching out to the listing agent to see what the seller's needs are, because the seller needs may be completely different than what you think. It might not necessarily be a higher price. Maybe the seller wants to stay in the house a little longer than, what you're offering. And so, they might need a longer close date, or, maybe the seller does want a higher price to make sure that they net the most amount of money. You never know. And so it's always important to reach out to the listing agents to find out what the needs are for the seller. But then once you find that out, factors that play a part are the price of the home. So, am I maximizing the sales price? Am I doing it in a way that, it's comparable to the neighborhood and that it's competitive? Earnest money deposit. Earnest money deposit shows a good faith gesture to the seller. It lets the seller know that you're very interested in the home. So is the earnest money deposit competitive enough? Is it higher than the rest of the other offers? The close date is very important. How quickly or how far out can you close? That's something that you'll want to definitely figure out with the seller and the seller's agent, and talk to your loan officer, talk to Saundra to see, how quickly can we close this file, or are we able to extend it out a little bit longer? So close date is very important. Personally, I've been finding, especially this past summer, that a lot of buyers have been over offering the price well above the appraisal price.
Yeah.
And so that's another gamble that you have to really think about whether or not you want to take. And so how that works is that, the sales price of the house is $350,000. There's 5 other offers. You really want that property. We have a buyer who's willing to go all the way up to 380,000, but the house only appraised for 360. So that's 20 more thousand, that you're making up for. And the lender's not going to pay it because they can only give you what the house appraises for. So you're going to have to come up with the additional 20,000. So are you willing to do that? So, you just, again, it's a strategic game. You have to figure out what works best for your situation, because not all situations are going to work for a buyer. What else? I've seen people waive home inspections. I personally wouldn't recommend that because but whatever works for, again, what works for the buyer. Waive home inspections. I've even heard people willing to pay for moving costs for the seller. Just like anything creative to win the offer. And that's actually really creative. You would never think of that.
Right.
So let's see, what else? Rent backs, covered rent backs. If the seller needed to stay a little bit longer, the buyer would waive the rent back fee. You can really get creative in terms of negotiating an offer. There are no limits on what you can do to set yourself apart. But those are the main things I've seen in terms of just like making sure your offer is strong and setting yourself apart. What have you seen anything different from your agents?
No. The biggest thing is waiving that home inspection, and I'm like, well, they asked you to do what?
Oh, no closing costs. How did I miss that? No closing costs. So that's another
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
So,
yeah. That's a big
one. That's a really big one. That's been very prevalent as well. Buyers asking for no closing costs, because that makes it attractive too.
Yes, listen.
The less money the seller can dish out, the better.
Yes. And that's it. People come to me all the time. Like, I had a young man call me maybe 2 days ago, and he was like, I got pre-approved, but they telling me I have to bring $8,000 to the table. That's outrageous for a first-time home buyer. Are you sure? I said, 8,000, that's it? Like, that's really, really low. But people have this misconception that if you're a first-time home buyer, that you don't have to bring any money to the table. Now, that was about maybe 2-3 years ago, when the market was a buyer's market and the seller was paying all the closing costs and you was getting down payment assistance. That is gone. That's long gone for now, until the market shifts back. So I tell everybody, please, I can get you down payment assistance, but please, please, please be prepared to pay your closing costs. Now, I have had a few agents that would factor in the closing costs to the offer price, and then we get the seller to pay it that way. But again, that's a gamble, like you said, because if it doesn't appraise for that, then you may be stuck holding the bag, or whoever they put in the contract that's going to hold the bag if that happens. So those, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying when I suggest doing it that way, then some agents get mad at me, like, why would you tell them that? That's not a good idea. I'm like, oops, I'm sorry. I just mention it because it's something that I've seen done before, and it worked. So again, your agent will know better than I would, and I would tell my clients that talk to your agent about that, because that's something that you will know. Like, if you look at it, the house, and you look at the comps, if you think that it may appraise for more. So I leave that up to the realtor's discretion. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Do you have any? I don't know if this if we should discuss this or if this should be like a later topic, but what are your thoughts on using down payment assistance? Would you recommend it in this type of market? Is it not, I don't want to say frowned upon, but what are the drawbacks of using down payment assistance in this market?
My mentor and I was talking about this the other day. No money, free money isn't free. That's a catch. I told him I was going to steal it. Free money isn't free. There is a caveat to everything. These banks are here to make money. So no matter what you think that you're getting this free money, you're going to pay it back one way or the other. So my advice to my clients is, if you need it, take it. If you need it, it's a great way to get you in your house. It's a great avenue to use. Take the money, but it comes with, as in the form of a second mortgage, most times now. So that mortgage is attached as a rider to your first mortgage. So that means that they'll usually give you like a 5-year grace period before you start to pay on it. So that gives you time to get acclimated to paying your mortgage and all of that, saving up money. So in 5 years, you're going to start paying that money back. There are some that are forgiven after 3 years if you pay your mortgage every month on time without being late. And there are some that come in the form of a grant. So those ones that are the least attached to it, those are the more expensive. So I have one that's a grant program. Their highest interest rate is 6.25%. Now, in a market, right, where you're getting 3.5, 6.25 is how they're going to get paid back. It's a grant. They're giving it to you. They don't require you to pay it back, but you're going to pay with that interest rate. So I tell my clients that need this money right now, we can look into you paying your mortgage, you keeping your credit score where it needs to be, you making sure that you're on time. After you make your 7th payment, we can refinance you into a regular loan and you're out of that higher interest rate. So if you're prepared to pay that higher amount for those 7 months, then take the money. Yeah. But if you're like, if you frown upon the higher interest rate, if you don't want a rider or a second mortgage attached to you that you're going to have to pay back later, then don't use it. But if that's the only way to get you in your house, it's a great avenue to use.
I recently had a seller that I was anticipating on listing her home. And we were looking at her HUD, and she didn't realize that she had a second mortgage on her house. She was trying to figure out why she was paying so much every month, and found out that she had a second mortgage, and she couldn't sell it unless she paid that amount back, because I think it had to be a certain amount of years that she had to live there. So, it's just, it's good to know, they're definitely great programs, like you said, but there's caveats to it, and you should be aware of what they are prior to jumping into the program.
Yes, ma'am. Everybody, I had a client that got in, we did a refi. He had a $50,000 lien on his thing because when he went in, it's called an 80-20 loan. There's a loan you can get an 80% loan as your first, and then a 20% loan as your second. So people do that so they won't have to pay mortgage insurance, because they drop your mortgage insurance after 80%. So he wasn't aware of that $50,000 lien, and he was like, "Wait a minute, where did this come from?" So we had to research it. It was a mess. We finally found who it was with and all of that, but those are the things you need to listen to your lender. And you need to read that paperwork that you're signing at that table. There are too many people that go into these programs, go into these loans, and have no clue what they're signing up for. So just make sure you ask questions. No, there is no dumb question. You can't ask too many questions. Ask your realtor, ask your lender. If it's anything that goes over your head that you're not aware of, please ask questions, because we don't want to say. Just ask. Yeah.
We ain't trying to mislead.
Right. So there are so many different loan programs right now. It's a special. It's something special for everybody. If you maintain a decent credit score, you save your money, it's likely that you're going to be able to get a loan. Even in, like, you're a friend with the hair stylist, people like that, self-employed borrowers, people, there are programs for everybody. So we don't promote interest rates because interest rates are fleeting. Interest rates are going up and down. They're going to always go up and down. You're always going to pay interest. What we promote is getting you into your house and getting a decent deal for you. So.
Okay. And what would you say is the magic number, the magic credit score number, the number that, because I know people like, I want to get to a such and such, or I want to get to, not knowing that there's almost like a cap for a credit score. It's like you don't even have to go above that. What is that number?
The minimum to qualify for any program is 640. 680, 700 is great. Once you're over 700, you pretty much qualify for everything. So 640 is the magic number. You can get a loan at 580, but you're going to get scrutinized a lot more with the underwriters. So 640 is where you're going to have a little better smooth selling when you go into underwriting.
Okay. 640, y'all.
640. That's the magic number. 640, the higher. Once you get over 700, 720, it's pretty much all across the board after that.
Perfect.
Yeah, I've ran people's score and they at 682 and they're like, I wanted to get a little higher. Okay, but it's not gonna make much of a difference. Right. So, yeah. Okay. So we're in. We talked about savings. We talked about nobody's paying closing costs right now. Really, it's very rare. So please ensure that you have your closing costs. Closing costs is usually 4% of your sales price. You got a $200,000 house, you're gonna need $8,000. 300, you're gonna need 12,000. So keep those numbers in your mind. That's what you're gonna need. 4%. Right now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say 4%, but save that up. But I'll always try to get you closing assistance from the seller. That is worth a try. It's worth a try in this market. Yeah.
But it's great to have it. It's always great to have it, even if you don't need it. Because you can use that for moving expenses, new furniture, to do some little small upgrades to your house. It's always good to go into a new home, whether it's new or not, go into a home with some savings, because you just never know what will come up. It's tax season. Save your tax return. Save your tax return. Right.
Save that tax return.
Save your tax return, put it in your savings account and let it sit. As long as we can source where that money came from, let it sit and keep adding it to it every week or whenever you get paid, whenever you get a lump sum of money, long as we can source it. Do not, we're going to repeat this, do not keep cash in your house, people. Do not.
Not in the mattress, not in the refrigerator.
That will blow up our deal and it will blow it up fast. We have to source every single dime that you use in this transaction. They want to make sure that we're not laundering money. They want to make sure that we're not doing anything illegal. So if you have money under your mattress, please go take that to the bank. We look at your bank statements for 2 months. So if you're not buying for at least 2 months, go put that money in the bank. Put it in there now. So, so we won't get caught up with that. So, we're coming to the close of this, guys. We want to just recap. It's still a good time to buy. Interest rates are going up, but they're still lower than they were 2 years ago. We were in the 5s 2 years ago. So, interest rates are still in the 4s, low 4s. So it's still a good time to buy. Make sure you do your due diligence when you're trying to sell your house and put it on the market. reach out to your realtor and follow their instructions on what you need to do to get your house seller ready, because it's possible for it to go within a matter of days if you do it right. Get pre-approved as buyers if you're going out to buy. I hand it over to you, Mecca. Any advice you want to give?
Nope, just keep a positive momentum. This is a very exciting process. So, with life there'll be bumps and bruises along the way, but this is an exciting process. I would say listen to your professional.
Yes.
They know best. They're the professional for a reason. Your realtor and your lender will know your situation, and so they'll guide you on what they think might be best for you. But just listen to your professional, and you'll do great things in this process.
Yes, I second that. All right. So tell people how they can reach you.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at the Mecca of Real Estate. And my email address, if you have any questions, is the Mecca of Real Estate at gmail.com. So you can reach me there. And, let me know you're interested. I'll send you a video of how the process works. It's very thorough. Whether you're a buyer or seller, I have custom videos for both. It runs you through the entire process, and then we can get started, get you on your way to Saundra to get pre-approved.
Yes, ma'am. That's an MBA for you. She got customized videos, baby. Know her. All right. Well, you guys know, please, if you think this video will help somebody, please share it. Please please comment below if you have any questions. If you have any questions for either of us, you can DM us, or you could call me on my cell, 301-326-7555. And if you want to get started with an application, go to approvemesandra.com. And I have a new URL, guys. If you want to see any of my past videos, it's saundraspeaks.com. Type that in. It'll take you right to all of my videos, saundraspeaks.com. So thank you guys for tuning in. Looking forward to working with you.
Saundra.
Thank you. I appreciate it.